Hello, welcome back to the Masonic Roundtable, a weekly program where Masons from around the world get together to talk about Masonic news and opinions in a friendly and social manner. As a reminder, the thoughts and opinions expressed here are solely the opinions of the participants and do not represent any Grand Lodge statements or positions. Make sure you keep your conversations open for the public and on the level. To interact with us, you can always send questions and comments to our Facebook page or YouTube page. We love seeing the chat. It's always fun. And remember, your chat may show up on the show. So if you can't catch us live, you can always catch us in the replay or in your favorite podcasting app. My name is John Ruark. I'm a past master of the Patriot Lodge number 1957 in Fairfax, Virginia. Next up, Jason Richards. Hello and good evening.
Hello and good evening. Jason Richards here, past master of Vacation Lodge number 16 in Clifton, Virginia. All grumpy all the time.
Nice. Good tagline. Good tagline. Speaking of grumpy.
And Tyler of Manasseh Lodge number 182. I always forget that one.
For life.
For life.
I mean, it's looking that way. Frank's already talked to me.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent.
Oh,
Excellent.
When Joe stays around next year, he'll just keep the same officer line.
No, because I would like to one day be a grumpy past master. So Joe Martinez, let's see, kind of sort of past master, current sitting master of Manasseh Lodge number 182 in Manassas, Virginia, and member of all the things and stuff. And yeah, looking forward to hearing advice from y'all on how to increase my grumpiness.
I didn't know you had a problem with that, but we'll see if we can help you with that.
I appreciate you.
Awesome. Well, as usual, I want to give a special shout out to the patrons who support the show. You guys are awesome. You rock my socks. And the more donations we get, if we get more donations this year than last year, Joe will stay in as master for the 26-27 year.
Really?
I feel like Frank is going to have something to say about that.
We'll find in the room.
If we get more donations this year than we did last year, I will stand up and nominate myself. Okay. And let the chips fall where they may, and have a little sidebar with Frank and make sure that I lose. But yes, we will do that. Or I'll go to another lodge and be master there because that sounds more fun.
You can get your choice. Yeah.
Don't you have to serve as a warden first, or can you serve as a warden of another lodge and then go directly in as master?
No, you can.
Different one.
Any past master can be nominated.
Interesting. Well, there you go.
You just have to be qualified.
So if you let your warden certificate lapse.
Yeah. Or if you throw it in the refuse or set it on fire and no longer have it, then you can't be elected.
Touche.
I feel like we could get the committee on work to make an exception.
I feel like you need to find your mute button.
You need to make that non-repudiation. So, yes.
Put it on the blockchain.
Yeah, can't deny it.
We're putting Joe's warden certificate on the blockchain. Heck yeah.
Nice.
We'll sell little bits of it.
That's right. Got to get that in writing. Good call.
Take a really bad picture of it. It's an NFT.
Joe's warden certificate.
I'll talk to the Manasseh trustees.
Yeah,
you guys should really get in on this.
Yes. Make it a fundraiser. Like those lodges that buy the brick walls.
Yes.
A piece of Joe's warden certificate.
Hey, we could make our own green beans for life meme coin.
Oh, that's true.
We could.
Very valuable.
Thank you, Patreons, and
thank you, Patreons.
Do. Yes.
And then after green beans, the next best thing to green beans is tarot card of the week, right, Joe? That's your second favorite thing of all time.
Where's the song?
Tarot card of the week.
Yup.
Yup.
That's how we do.
That is how we do it.
That's how we do.
All right. Super excited about this one. Joe might not be, but I am. This week, straight from Germany, we have the Into the Void.
9.
The Black Cat Tarot.
9.
This was a Haute Klappe. This was a Kickstarter deck, and it is kind of amazing. Actually, it's really amazing.
9.
Very, very unique.
Du hast.
9.
Du hast mich. And for tonight's topic, we have the 10 of Wands.
Oh, not a 9 of Wands.
9.
Well, that's a really great card to pull.
It is. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yes.
I love when synchronicity happens like that. 10 of
Yeah.
Wands. All the burden, all the time. The weight of the
Overload.
world is on your shoulders.
Yes.
Can't get any worse.
But it can.
It's not quite 10 of Swords bad, but
9.
the 9.
The 9. Yes, the 9 is the Hermit, which is the cat in the box. Like, this entire deck is just brilliantly done.
Tarot plus cats equals happy Jason.
Yes. The Tower is the cat tree
Ah,
falling over.
The cat tree.
Nice.
Like, yeah, you guys have seen the 5 of Cups, and it's the cat with the cup stuck on its face.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yes, those past masters who carry the weight of the lodge on their shoulders, they're overburdened with the task of being humble and patient and quiet. All the things. That's what our past masters represent.
So looking forward to that.
The Chariot.
But that's not what we get.
No,
We don't get that. We don't get that.
So let's talk about past master syndrome. This should be a fun one, right? Because when you have that bloated, grumpy feeling, when you're not feeling yourself, but you kind of want to just leash out and snap back at people. That what I say? Lash out at people.
Well, we got to hit this up from a epidemiology standpoint first. There's different strains of past master syndrome. There's not just one,
Yes.
right?
That's
Just
true.
like this year's flu, that my
Yes.
children have gotten every single variant of, and then gave it all to each other over and over again. Yeah, there's different flavors of past master syndrome. We've got, the Tweety, my man.
I don't believe that Nathan Tweedy could ever be grumpy.
I don't think he was.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to fit in.
I don't
like
think
that.
it's possible.
Be part of the team.
Suave guy.
Oh, he's so handsome and pretty.
Him grumpy is him only smiling halfway.
That's right.
Now that person
And
Yes.
one lump
can
from Metal
would be grumpy.
Yes.
Grumpiness incarnate.
Yeah.
From Metal Drew. Yeah. But yeah, so let's start with the grumpy one. So there's grumpy past masters, and
Sure.
there's past masters who
Ghosty past masters.
ghosty past masters, and then there's past masters that never leave your lodge and are
Yes.
there every damn night.
The opposite of a ghost. A haunted.
They're past masters who never leave the chair.
There's
They
that too.
leave the chair and come back.
Yep. There's that too. Yeah. Well, we're not going to talk about that one.
Yeah.
That one will feel like a lot of self-reflection, which I don't want to do. So
Did you say there's different strains of past masters? No, they're all pretty strange.
Indeed. Speaking
Says Brother
of,
Chad.
yeah, Chad's here. I wouldn't put him in the grumpy category either.
No.
So let's start with
He's
the grumpy.
more in the resigned category.
Yeah.
The resigned past master. Just
Mhm.
okay.
And they got grand past masters.
That takes you into a different level of grump or incompetence, whatever you want to call it. That's a whole different level. That's another show.
That is
Let's stick with the Blue Apron past masters. We got 3 flavors. The first one, the grumpy.
The grumpies. Yes, we've all known those. We've all seen those, right? Where their opinions are never kept to themselves. Where innovation
Nor
is a
their
myth.
thoughts on the ritual during the grief.
Yes. And no matter who corrects the person needing it, it's always wrong.
Yeah.
Even when it's right.
Mm-hmm.
So we certainly have the grumpy past masters for sure. Joe, you want me to bring that up?
Sure. Why not? We've got different.
Woo. Past masters be like, what do you need the book for?
What you need to book for?
We don't have a book in Virginia, though.
No. Got like a little guide.
Past masters
Yeah.
intended it to be.
We've got our grumpy past master ritualists, right? That
Yep.
love to yell at you.
We'll correct everyone all the time.
Especially when no one is asking for correction.
And do so loudly during a degree.
I don't always.
It's more important that the ritual be 100% correct than for the candidate to have a truly immersive initiatic experience.
Indeed.
No, that wasn't done in their year. So they had interrupted yelly degrees. So that's what we will have today.
That's
so.
Indeed. How else do these grumpy past masters manifest themselves?
I can think of a good way, and we've all seen it during the stated meetings or the stated communications, right? When we're talking about business, you've got that each lodge, at least the ones I've been to, has a section in it where the grumpy past masters go. They sit in my lodge, it is the northeast section of chairs.
They do tend to hang out in a
they gravitate, they pull together like bacteria.
Just like you call a murder of crows. Or what would you call a group, a gang of past masters? What would be an appropriate term?
I like gaggle of grumpy past masters.
Gaggle?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A harumph of past masters?
A harumph of past masters.
Yeah.
Let's get that added.
Get a rump out of that guy.
I'm going to be adding it to Urban Dictionary immediately.
You watch your
There's a harumph of past masters in that corner.
So I think
go ahead.
Well, and I think there are past masters too who all gang together and show up at different times, whether it be elections or balloting on certain candidates, where if the lodge is moving in a novel direction or direction that is threatening to past masters or is not, they see it as a break from perhaps traditionally held norms and or standards. Past masters can band together and show up and try to introduce a little chaos into things.
Seen it happen, and that won't name names or times or places. I've seen it where I've walked into lodge and I've seen absolute complete strangers sitting down with an apron on. It's like, who the hell are you? It's like, oh, I'm whoever. I was master here 25 years ago. I'm like, I've never seen you before in my life. So when you get those occasions, normally it's not going to be a good evening.
I saw an interesting response. I think it was in the Freemasonry group on Reddit that a young, very active Mason who'd maybe been a member for 7 years or so was in line. It was like an officer, and had this grumpy guy come in and complain, and he's like, "Don't you know who I am? That's my picture on the wall." And this person had the perfect response, who said, "Well, if you showed up, I would know who you are, but I haven't seen you this is the first I've seen you in 7 years that I've been a member here."
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot.
mean, I still get PTSD from, seeing a new member show up. But recently it's always been, oh, I moved away 20 years ago and now I'm back. And it's like, oh, great to have you. I love you here.
Welcome in.
Yeah. But that was not the case 5, 7, 9 years ago. When you saw a new person there, that is hysterical.
A congress of past masters.
If pro and con are opposites, what is the opposite of progress?
Congress.
Yes.
As that was the implication.
Well, back when I was master.
Yep.
Yeah. So definitely can bring the spear of the lodge down if you have these curmudgeons.
And I think, sometimes past masters can also, the grumpy ones, put a damper on what otherwise might be heralded as lodge successes, right? Like,
say more.
We had, there was an instance in my lodge where, and I think Joe was here for that.
Has that instance occurred?
An instance has occurred in my home lodge Joe was there, where we had the most lodge members present in the lodge for as long as I have been a brother. And we had something like 70 brothers.
Holy smokes.
I had to leave.
Well, I mean,
I had to leave. I had to go downstairs
lodge-
because
lodge was kind of shaky.
the floor was creaking loud. That was a lot of people for that little tiny room. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
definitely did make it inside, but yeah.
You know
It
another
was.
thing? Go ahead.
I had a grumpy past master come up to me afterward and say, "You will never do that again."
Was that a suggestion or a order?
Or a threat.
Yeah.
It was a threat.
Holy smokes.
I had
Also, I have a past master story. One of the grumpiest past masters that I know. They tend to hyperfixate on the smallest of details, right? So when emotion gets brought up, it's like, hey, we're changing banks because we can get, a 0.5% better interest rate on our savings. Oh, no. Now the grumpy past master decides it's his time to shine, where he talks about how we use that bank since Dickety-aught-6, and that bank was formerly owned by two brothers 7 generations ago.
Mhm.
And we'd be breaking Masonic tradition if we went to another bank that had 0.5% better interest rates.
Those two brothers kept that lodge afloat during the lean times.
Well, you know that 0.75% CD is really keeping the lodge afloat today, buddy.
It
Let me tell
blows
you.
my mind how they'll spend literally hours talking about these types of details, and they feel like they are fully doing the best thing for Freemasonry by standing up at that moment. So yes, those are.
What's the trope? How do you get a bunch of past masters back to lodge? You talk about raising the dues, right?
Yeah, change the dues.
Yep. You send that notice out, and then all of a sudden, shablam!
The dues are too damn high.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a good, excellent Tweety. So Tweety writes, how many past masters does it take to change a light bulb? Oh, the current master does it. What the
0.
PMs talk about. Oh, 0. The current master does it. What the PMs talk about, how great the bulb was in their year. Yes.
Yes. The master does
Yes.
it. They don't do anything. They just talk about how great it was during their year.
Agreed. So yeah, my first of many past master stories was my first year as master. Wanted to have, I had already been to outside of our jurisdiction. I had been to many table lodges and festive boards and things like that. So the first year I was master, I was like, hey, let's have a table lodge.
Of
so
course.
I sent an invitation out, and everybody who knows me knows I love invitations and I love RSVPs. I like to stay organized. And yeah, the next Monday for practice, the table lodge was like a month out. And the next Monday for practice, got a grumpy past master showed up, one of our elder statesmen. And he comes up to me. He's like, hey, you can't have a table lodge. They serve alcohol. And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure you can. He's like, I don't think you can. He's like, I'm pretty sure that's a Masonic violation. I'm like, I still don't think it is, but okay, thank you. I left it alone. He wrote an email, or I guess he had someone way younger write an email to the Grand Lodge and said, hey, this guy's going to have a table lodge. And then the Grand Lodge replied with, great, there's a ritual for it. We wrote it. It's printed here. Here you go. Here's all the info and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. So, you'll get a.
I'm sure he apologized with a very nice I'm sorry card.
If that occurred, I was not present for it, nor do I have knowledge of it. So
no doubt that's
nice. But yeah, no, you'll get a lot of the grumpy past master syndrome that we're talking about there. It does have a lot of, we're going to do things behind your back because we can.
Interesting.
And I know Jason's seen that, the murmurs and the talking in the parking lot and, that kind of stuff.
You're taking what picture off the wall?
Oh, so grumpy past masters can be passive aggressive, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
I mean,
they have known to exhibit those behaviors.
Can be aggressive.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think John's right. They're mostly when they're in a harumph,
Mhm.
they're passive aggressive, right? But then they'll usually find a spokesperson to be aggressive, right? So they'll gaggle together, and then they'll have that one person go out and yell at Jason or yell at John or yell at Joe.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Any other qualities or characteristics of the grumpy past masters?
Well,
I think
oh, go ahead, Jason.
it's getting to something that we talked about a couple of minutes ago. I think there's an assumption that people should and brothers should recognize who they are when they show up, even if it's been years and years and years. I think there's a bit of entitlement there with some of the grumpy past masters. They did their time. They were in the line. It was the best year ever in the history of the lodge, and we should be eternally grateful.
And I think with that also comes the title of past master, right? So there is, and they get to carry that for life in most jurisdictions. So I've earned that title, and you must address me as past master or worshipful, right?
Mhm.
So that there's this
Worshipful is an honorific.
Yes. Say it twice for the people in the back.
Not given.
Yes.
I still get weirded out when people call me worshipful.
I call you worshipful every time I see you in lodge.
I know.
Worshipful Jason.
It weirds me out.
Well, that's okay. That's what I do.
Yes.
That's how I am. But yeah, I mean, I think that no, and I will do it. Jason's seen it. I'll go up to people that I absolutely love and respect, and I will call them by their honorific, whether they've told me to or not, because I hold them in high regard. People that I don't, I say, "What's up, guy? Hey, bro.
Hey, brother."
Yeah. So no, brother is for people that I can't remember their name. It's like, hey, brother. That's a great catch-all.
What's up, brother?
But yeah, no, I absolutely have zero qualms using that honorific for brothers that I absolutely love and respect, and make me happy to be a Freemason by their presence. So, not the people we're talking about this evening, but no. Yes. But yeah, that's I know I found a couple of memes talking about this. Yeah, that any horror stories from you guys from your first early days sitting in the East and past masters correcting or getting up, interrupting, yelling, commentary after the meeting, anything like that?
I've gotten yelled at a couple times.
Interesting.
John?
Well, an interesting story. I did have one past master who wouldn't let this topic go. He was like broken record. You could count on him to bring up the same issue year after year. So it was again his hyperfixation that he cared so much about. However, we're taught to use the power of the gavel, and so I sternly but politely gavelled him down and told him outside the lodge that as long as I am in the East, you will not bring up that topic again. To which he obliged. So he actually respected the office in which I held. He respected the chair and never brought it up again during my year. Of course, couldn't wait to bring it up again the next year, but yes.
Question, Dr. Ruark. Did he comply by not showing up for the rest of the year, or did he show up and just keep his trap shut?
He showed up. But to me, in that case, that person respected the rank more than his position. So, hey, you know what? It worked. It worked that one time. So, gaveling down a topic was used well in that case.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Jason, what'd you get yelled at for?
I got yelled at for removing a past master's picture from the wall of the lodge. This past master, who was a past district deputy grand master, was convicted of embezzling money from a Masonic widow.
Ooh.
And it happened
Ouch.
my junior warden year. And so I thought it was resolved. The master of the year did as the master's prerogative was, and said, okay, we're yeah, this sucks. We're moving on. He's not a member anymore. Done. And no. 3 weeks into my year in the East, I was planning our 140th anniversary and a rededication of the lodge. And my district deputy grand master informed me that some other lodges in the district had whispered good counsel in the year of the Grand Lodge. And as long as a certain picture hung up in the lodge, the Grand Lodge wasn't interested in necessarily helping out. And go ahead.
Question, Dr. Richards.
Yeah.
So this brother was suspended or expelled?
No.
Oh, he wasn't.
This brother was allowed to demit.
Okay, so he demitted. So
From
he
the
was no
lodge.
longer a Mason or a member of your lodge.
Correct.
Then why
good
would
standing.
everyone have hairy ass about keeping his picture up?
Because it's tradition.
Oh, okay.
And we had a lot of brethren in the lodge who had been in the lodge for 30, 40 years. There was a core group of brethren who have been in that lodge for a long time. And the lodge had gone through some really lean years. And that particular brother was someone who kept the lights on during the lean years. Now, reportedly, I wasn't there for it. And so this was, I think, one of those hyper fixation things where it was change. It was someone with whom these brethren had had a very, very close relationship with for decades. And, I think that just took a serious mental and emotional toll. But my job as master is to safeguard our charter and keep us in line with the expectations of the Grand Lodge.
Absolutely.
And so that's my number one job as master, to keep the lodge, from collapsing. So I got yelled at by a couple folks for that. And
Wild times.
it's a shame.
Yeah.
All around, it's a shame. But it's one of those things where, as master, you do the best you can, and you make the decision that you firmly believe is in the best interest of the lodge, and understand that you can't make everybody happy.
That is true.
Wow, we went deep this episode.
This was supposed to be a lighthearted one.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got some questions in the chat, or some comments in the chat. Past master of my lodge, who was also a past grandmaster, got upset with a brother because he got a square and compass tattoo with a skull in it.
My body, my choice.
Hashtag no skulls in masonry.
There are no skulls in masonry. So yes.
It looks look, Masonic News. Yeah, it looks like Texas is making it legal, right? At least according to the Facebook, right?
Skulls, right? We're making skulls.
Yes.
Okay.
Skulls in
That
masonry.
was ready
It's
to
official. Now they've been on tracing boards, and we have records of them being used in degrees since the 1700s. But
yes,
now
and
it's
on the
officially
official
okay.
Now,
Grand Seal of Texas, but
yes, it is good. But yeah, back to the grumpiness. Yeah, I remember my first year as master. There was one or two past masters, and they stopped coming subsequent years because they knew what was going to be happening. Always had, and a lot of them did it after the after the meeting, they always had a critique for me, and I'm going to be
Ooh,
honest.
that was nice of them.
That's as nice as it got. They were all irrelevant, wastes of time, or completely opinionated critiques that they had. Like, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, and I'm like, okay, noted, and I would walk away, and then I do that same thing.
Thank you for your input.
But yeah, so very rarely was I corrected in a positive way for something that actually meant something. So yeah, so the skin got thicker and the hair fell out more.
I like these stories. The story time is great here.
Yeah.
It's very cathartic. Nathan Tweedy says, my jurisdiction had a new ritual book when I was master. It had past masters refusing to use the updated ritual because it was, quote, not properly approved. Although it was.
By them.
Not in their year.
Yeah.
That's
Not
not the
their year,
ritual I
buddy.
used in my year.
Not in their year.
Wow.
Yes, we are throwing open the kimono tonight.
But yet you can have some good past masters, right?
Yes.
Mighty
talk
Wag
about
1 says, I was Worshipful Master in 95. The PMs that surrounded me for the most part, though at times opinionated, were generally my greatest asset. 30 years later, I would say this culture of helpfulness still dominates. Well, let's go check out your lodge for sure. That would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead.
I do feel like I need to say that there are a ton of past masters at Acacia
Of course.
who are
Of course.
incredible and were wonderful brethren to work with, and I'd sit and lodge with them any day.
Yes,
Yeah, I was
are.
gonna say let's I'm super down with keeping it lighthearted, but this is a great forum for who is your go-to past master that is always there to cheer you on and is there to kick your butt, and if you do deserve it, but you just, as soon as they open their mouth, you're like, I respect everything you're saying and I'm going to change and I'm going to do this, or is there to rub your shoulders when you need it. Like I can think of people immediately that do that for me.
Scott Springer and Clancy Nidell.
Boom. I got you stole Clancy from me, so that's cool. But the first person that pops into my head is Bill Costas. Bill Costas. When I do something wrong and he tells me about it, I genuinely feel like
you let Dad down.
I let Dad down. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it genuinely feels like that. But he is, even when I do crazy shit, he is my biggest supporter. You know what I mean? And yeah, I can't think of another person better than him. So
Bill Costas. Interesting that you guys have like consistent ones, because I have different guys I reach out to for different reasons. First one came to mind was John Shelton, because he's a diplomat, right? He can say, all right, so look at it from this angle, or look at it from this angle, and maybe try this tact, right? So what I know I can count on him to give me a different perspective, even if it's one I'm probably not going to take. At least I can hear it from another perspective. So yeah. But then I have others that I would reach out to for different scenarios. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
I also have to say David Hill.
Yeah.
I cannot leave David out.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about the other kind of past masters now?
Which ones?
The ghosties.
The ones that you never see again.
I don't know what that's like, so I defer to both of you, handsome gentlemen, to tell me about that.
Yes.
Well, no, I'm serious. Like at least at Manasseh Lodge, right? When I joined, I became an officer right away, but I had already been a Mason for years, so it wasn't totally a noob. But you need to shut up, Jimmy. I'm mad I don't have a mute button anymore.
4 more years.
John took it away from me. So yeah, I definitely missed that. But yeah, no, when I became a member there, maybe 1 or 2 of the past masters.
Much better.
That stinks. I don't know what the last thing you heard was.
When I became a past master.
Oh, no, when I became an officer.
Officer.
Yeah, that first year of past masters or 2, didn't know them very well because they were in and out. But literally every single person that was past master before me for the 4 or 5 years before I became master, they're still around and they're still there and they still contribute. So the ghosting thing. I've not seen firsthand that. There are guys that were master 20 years ago that have not been there since, but you know, for the most part, I've been lucky that, you know, these guys are still around. They still help, you know.
Help is a four-letter word. And other ways that past masters help is getting out of the way. Yes, exactly.
So is GTFO.
It is, or RTFM. The other type I'm thinking of are the masters who, after their year in the East, need a break, right? They've pulled that 10 of wands. They've carried the load of the lodge long enough for this volunteer organization. And you know what? I'm going to need a break. I'm going to need some time out. I'm going to need to just get back to seeing what my wife looks like and what my kids look like. Because I know that was me. 2013, the best year in Freemasonry, when I was master. Oh my goodness, all the things we did. You wouldn't believe the things we did. But I will say that while I was in the chair, not physically, but
you wouldn't believe the things that John got in trouble for.
I did have
master.
The birth of my second child while I was in the East. Not actually, well, you know, during the lodge meeting, but still, you think it's busy enough as master, try having a newborn at home and a patient wife, loving wife who's dealing with all that. So that was fun. I had a virus that stuck with me for 6 weeks while I was master. My mother got diagnosed with breast cancer. Oh, it was a good time. It was a great year. So I was ready to just like chill out and do nothing for the next year. So what did I do? I started a podcast. But you know, the year after, I needed that time to be with family, right? Just knowing that the lodge was in good hands. I came back when I could, and that's hard to do. It's hard to say. So, you know, I will own up to the fact that I have ghosted my lodge on multiple occasions because, you know, life got in the way, and I served my time with duty and attention, and now it's time for someone else to handle that.
So
how about you, Jason?
I too have ghosted my mother in lodge. My mother in lodge.
Mother
It's like brother-in.
I have not ghosted my
Freud.
I have not ghosted my mother-in-law. She's amazing.
I thought it was mother-in, like brother-in.
That's what I thought.
Theren.
Freudian slip. So my son was born 5 or 6 weeks into my term as master.
Yeah, wow.
I spent a lot of time away from him that first year, first 11 months of his life, and honestly, the aforementioned issues that came up and the fallout that resulted from the decisions I made, like, you know, I was ready for a break. And so I, you know, threw myself into my family, threw myself into work, stayed on with the podcast. But it just, you know, as fatherhood and other demands on my time increased, I found that I needed to make choices in Masonry. And, you know, I chose the Masonic Roundtable. I chose, you know, I am choosing Manasseh Lodge, you know, and that is not a, you know, that is not an indictment of Acacia Lodge or anything like that. It's just I have such limited time that I have to be like surgically precise with what I do and where I give my attention.
Yeah, totally get that. Yep. And that's the best way to serve the lodge sometimes, right? As much as you'd love to chip in and help, but, you know, look, if I am here, if I feel obligated to come back with all the other things that have going on in my life, I will be a grumpy past master. So it's probably best if I address my other priorities first. That's the best way I can help the lodge right now. Pay my dues, support where I can from afar, be there when I'm able, but for the most part, it happens, and it needs to just be acknowledged. I will say that.
Well, and I don't withhold help and support.
Correct.
Like my lodge my lodge reached out to me a couple years ago asking for help with some investigation committees. I was there.
Absolutely.
I've served on those committees, and those committee candidates are now awesome brothers. And so
Thanks
there's
to you.
there's a difference between guarding your time and withholding support.
Or having your time abused.
Yes.
Abused and abused
More
and
memes?
abused.
Are we
I
on
didn't
memes?
I didn't grab any. What do we have here? Did that one, did that one, did that one.
Oh, we haven't seen Lumberg. Put number
Oh.
6 up.
Oh, we'll do that one.
Am I out of touch? No, it is the lodge that is wrong.
That looks like a Patriot Lodge.
It kind of. I had to take a second look there.
Yeah.
Patriot or AMD?
It's definitely a past sovereign master apron, maybe grand sovereign.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you could just learn all your ritual, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the I'm almost at burnout. I'm not there yet.
Oh, you're there. Don't worry.
No, I totally am. Yeah.
You're
yeah,
past there.
Yeah. I'm totally doing the whole
Burnout was like mid-year 2021 for you.
yeah, I'm totally doing the military PTSD thing where I'm just keeping it all in here and then one day it will explode.
Keep pressing forward.
And it's like
One
two
foot in
different
front of the other.
like two different PTSDs too. It's like, and they're fighting with each other. And this one's like, you're stupid. And it's like, yeah, no. Yeah, those two little what's two wolves.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yeah.
two wolves inside of you, and both are past masters.
And they're both exhausted.
They both think that they did it better in their year.
Yeah. They're just judgy. They don't hunt, they just sit there and judge you.
Well, then we have the third type that we talked about. The third type of past master. It's the opposite of the ghost. It's the haunted one, the one that won't ever leave, ever.
Yep.
It's always there.
Yep. And there's the
Except when they break
one.
a hip or something.
Well,
Yeah.
And you talk about them and pass a card around for them like every single meeting until they
But
come
yeah,
back.
but there's grumpy ones and there's the happy jolly ones too. There's like two flavors of those.
Sure,
you know?
absolutely.
true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like Paul Lockhart.
Yep.
He is happy and jolly, and
All the time.
I love every time I see him in lodge because he's just so happy to be there. And yeah,
Since they're always there,
great guy.
you can count on them all, like to just do stuff anytime for the lodge, right? They're dependable too, right? You can just call on them to
Always
Handy
there.
just fill this in.
Always there. Yep. And they'll take Clancy's another one. Clancy
Yeah.
Nidell.
Mhm.
Another one. The man is just, he could be out 5 nights a week and he's got a smile on his face every night.
Oh, because of lodge. Yeah.
Because of lodge, yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not all doom
Oh.
and gloom.
Look at Metal Drew.
No, super sticker.
Was that a super sticker because we've already categorized you as a grumpy, or like we need some context on that?
Well, I think he bought a little super sticker on YouTube, so that was very, very kind of you to chip into the show. Yes.
Thanks,
And an
Viz.
extra harumph to you.
Yes.
Good sir.
Yes.
Yes. We have our favorites.
Jimmy, you could up the game.
You
You
could
Jimmy.
battle it out.
You could,
Yeah.
Jimmy's probably out at a Masonic event right now.
Right now.
Yeah. Wearing a red or a purple or a orange jacket or something. Yeah. Doing masonry. That's what he
I want
does.
to see someone like wear a Voltron type of ensemble where like they have all the Masonic
New
colors.
Lodge.
flashing.
Royal Arch. AMG.
Or just walks into a room and is like, what
KT.
body is this?
What night is
Oh,
it?
it's AMD. And he
Yes.
flips his coat inside out, and it's green on the inside, so he's got his green jacket on. Oh, there's Royal
Tears
Arches
off
after
his
this?
pants.
Tear away pants.
He's got the green pantsuit underneath. Yeah.
I like it.
Tear away aprons. That's what we need.
Ooh.
Hello.
I mean, they're all tear away if you're motivated enough.
If you try hard enough. That's
Yeah.
right.
The pants I'm wearing right now are tear away if I try hard enough.
That is true.
Oh man, so good times, good times. Any other last thoughts about all of our favorite members, the past masters?
So I would say the one we hinted at this with the haunted past master, but we should talk about the amazing, helpful,
Absolutely.
incredible past masters, because there are a lot of them.
Mhm.
And these are the past masters who show up. They say, "Worshipful Master, I am at your service and I'm here to help." You can count on them for wisdom, for advice and expertise, and they show up and they roll up their sleeves and do the work with you.
Yes, they are, to
Yep.
use the Masonic metaphor, they are the cornerstone and foundation of the lodge. Really, when you have these past masters, and we needed that for the Patriot Lodge. Again, myself being the exception. A lot of the past masters stuck around because we needed to keep the seats filled, because our new officers were students who would graduate and leave the
Leave.
state. So yes, absolutely. While we like to make fun of the grumpy ones and all the other personalities that come with past masters, it goes without saying, but we're going to say it. Thank you for bringing that up, Jason, that there are the past masters who truly live out their Masonic values and support the brethren the best way they can.
The Brethren.
The brethren.
No, I said Brethren with a V.
Brethren.
Mother.
Mother.
We're gonna have to unpack that one later, buddy.
That's fine.
Yes.
How about the true haunted past masters?
Ooh, yeah.
We visited the Grand Lodge of Rhode Island many, many years ago.
Yes, we did.
And they have a very large auditorium where they say that there is a they know who it is. They know which past master it is that haunts the upper balcony. That the people have seen him walk.
Ooh.
Yeah, through the balcony. So
The historical Zanesville Masonic Temple was haunted as well.
Ooh.
nice.
Back before
So
it
do they
burned
still
down
pay
several years ago.
dues? That's what I wonder. They're still showing up for meetings. They should still pay dues.
You should. Yes.
Yes.
And if they're life members, do they have to start paying dues again?
That's true.
Yeah,
They're
they're
in
not
perpetuity.
afterlife members.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
Yeah. Good point.
get on it.
Mm.
Oh,
oh,
game on.
Oh.
Oh,
Excellent.
Well done, Brother Jimmy.
I am petrified right now since we started this show with, hey, if we make more money this year than we did last year, I am crapping my pants right now.
Nice.
obviously, when we say make more money, everything goes back into the show. We don't draw salaries. We don't use
Indeed.
this for personal stuff.
I will absolutely tell you right now, if this does happen, the funds from the TMR Patreon will absolutely go to my psychiatric care and medication. So that is a given.
We're gonna add a third PTSD wolf to you.
Yes.
He'll still be judgy. Like, you're still here?
He'll be the passive aggressive one. Yeah.
Oh, that's all I need.
Again? Come on.
No.
We're gonna add a little thermometer to the side of the show.
Yes.
As it-
Love
to
it.
raise funds for
No, we will not.
Joe's 4th term as master. Yes.
Yeah. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Or the most worshipful. He was not most. Let's. Yeah. I can't bring up the
So,
comment here. Yep.
well, we're trying to do the best we can to prevent Joe from becoming the grumpy past master. We want him as a grumpy master.
Y'all are doing a
Oh,
great
yeah.
job of it. Let me tell you, it's
Yeah.
working. Yes.
You can take next year off
Thank you.
and then hop back in the year after. I think that's a great idea.
Nope.
So it's called strategic planning.
Yeah.
I will move to a socialist country that doesn't like Freemasons. Okay, that's how hard we're gonna go here. So, Argentina, here I come.
All right.
I was going to say there aren't a lot of socialist nations that have it out for Freemasons.
I didn't say have it out. I said don't. They're not like publicly all in your face and stuff. So,
No.
Go
Okay.
hiding. Yes.
yeah.
All right. So let's go to our Master for Life. Final thoughts on past masters.
I think we touched on all the different kinds of past masters there are and there can be, but I think Jason summed it up really nicely with, for the most part, past masters in your lodges are, again, those stalwarts, those guys who are there for you and are there to help and are there to help keep Freemasonry alive, right? They are the keepers of the stories and the experiences and all the amazing things that they've seen in Freemasonry. So while we joke and we kid, and yeah, there's the annoying ones and the ones that need to just go off into the sunset and never come back. I, for the most part, am grateful for the past masters that I know, including you two, who are there to counsel brothers and help walk brothers through Freemasonry. And I'm eternally grateful for them and for y'all. So, yeah, unless you're one of the ones that we made fun of, keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, you know who you are.
Yep, you do.
Jason Richards, past master.
Past masters are just like any other brother. You get all different kinds, and there's some that will bend over backwards to help you, and there are others that kind of get in their own way, and by extension yours. It's important to leverage your past masters for their expertise, their insight, guidance, advice. They are a foundation of a healthy lodge. They're often a foundation of a healthy lodge. And so we do, yes, we have all had our run-ins with those that can be unbrotherly or can otherwise seem like a bit of a stumbling block to the lodge. But for every one grumpy past master, you've got at least 1 to 1.5 ones who have the best interests of the lodge at heart and want to bend over backwards to help you. And even the grumpy ones typically have in their heart of hearts the lodge's best interest at heart. Just have a bit of a different lens to view that.
I like those odds. Yep. Yeah, just that's a perfect segue into what I was going to say is that, one of the commenters here, Marty says, remember the golden rule at all times, right? I'm a professional coach and facilitator. And one thing that we talk about in our community is assume noble intent, right? Assume that everyone's there trying to do the right thing. May not always end that way, but, every past master who's active and wants to stay engaged, they're trying. They're trying in their own special way to make the lodge better, or at least as good as it was during their year. So, that assuming noble intent, that as much as we love to make fun of them, that they do have some experience, because experience is the name we give our mistakes, from Brother Oscar Wilde. Or I'll end on another quote that could be attributed to past masters. It depends if this applies to you or not. Don't attribute to malice what can be attributed to ignorance. So Maybe they just don't know better.
Here.
Alrighty. Well, this has been great. See you next week. Thank you all very much for watching, and keep searching for more light. Have a good night.
Wow.